so yes, there is growth, but where the growth we're seeing is in the software-defined data center area, the hyperconverged area, which is part of software-defined. We're seeing growth in HPC, AI, and also in the hyperscale side. And these are real growth areas. The traditional on-prem data center market, that is a decline, but it's still a very large part of the overall market. So we at Lenovo is actually have our business units which actually focus in these growth areas. So our business units are focused around hyperscale, software-defined data center, HPC and artificial intelligence, and last but not least is the data center infrastructure. Around this is of course is our services that we have services both from a Lenovo perspective as well as with many of our partners.
IDC actually called out as India being the second fastest growing market from a data center perspective in Asia Pacific. And I think there are a couple of points that play up to that. One is if you see the government's focus from a perspective of digitization, data center expansion, their strategy for, on a cloud basis, so that adds to it. Smart city projects, for example. And then if you see, I think there's a very vibrant mid-market perspective. So on the 3 or 4 areas that Sumi talked about earlier, take SAP HANA for example, correct? It's been one of the fastest growing markets from an SAP perspective, and I think that growth is coming from mid-market. So mid-market is growing well. We're seeing a lot of uptake for software-defined and hyper-converged. And, so if the enterprises use it, the larger ones, from a traditional VDI perspective, for example, on Nutanix, in the mid-market, we actually see as a consolidation or a private cloud or a, strategy or a consolidating the compute and storage itself, correct? So it's playing out, I think, fairly well from an India perspective. So these figures vary, correct? I've seen figures, where IDC talked about, and this could be a very specific part of a data center market, correct? Not be built in this thing. Because if you look at India, apart from the hyperscale providers who moved in India from a perspective, it has a very vibrant cloud service community who's Indian, correct? On a large base. So these figures are varying. I saw a figure from IDC which said $4 billion in by 2019 or 2020. But that'll take a lot of. It'll be a sum of, I think, everything that goes from a data center perspective and not the infrastructure.
So just to add, from an opportunity perspective, right? That there's a lot of growth happening, and this is where we're seeing a lot of growth in the software-defined data center. We're seeing here in the country, we're seeing, of course, the hybrid cloud, in-prem, private, as well as the hybrid cloud. A lot of customers adopting. So those sort of growth rates are just huge, and huge opportunities for many of our partners and the customers demanding. Customers are now looking at consolidating their data center. Here in India, as I travel around the country, I meet a lot of CIOs. A lot of the CIOs are actually talking about how do I bring my power down? How do I become a green company? Many years ago, I never heard this from CIOs. They're obviously feeling the pain of that. As well as, if you look at real estate, it's one of the highest globally. Real estate, whether in Mumbai, here in Delhi, this is a pain point. If I can consolidate my data center and then save some real estate, that's an opportunity. So while the size of the market is there, we can talk of figures, but we're going to look at opportunities where we're trying to solve that customer's pain point, and those are big growth areas that we're focusing on with our partners, and that's an opportunity for partners.
For us, it is to become the most trusted advisor from a data center perspective, correct? So this could be on the transition and transformation of the data center itself. And again, it comes back to software-defined, hyper-converged to a large extent, because that spans both mid-market and enterprise today. The other thing I think would be, the traditional data center infrastructure. It's still the largest part of the market. You still need to innovate reduce the footprint there, bring innovation from a services perspective on how this is addressed overall. So I think those two areas combined with HPC.
Yeah.
Because HPC we are seeing move from traditional university domain now into enterprise. Correct. It varies from vertical to vertical, but that's a very clear shift which we have seen in the market.
And just to add from a go-to-market perspective, right, 95% of our business is through partners, right? So very clearly, our go-to-market is with our partners, right? But again, we want to make sure that we're very close to our customers, because if you see the market is there's a huge transformation, right? Digital transformation is happening. The cloud, people have moved into the cloud. For some people, it hasn't worked as it should be, so there's a cloud repatriation happening. So we want to be very close to the customer. 95% of our business is with partners. So our go-to-market is primarily partners, but it's about developing and working with the right partners for the right solution for the right segment. So we're trying to segmentize whether it's enterprise, government, SMB, mid-market, and also looking at what are the right sort of solutions that these partners can work with to go bring it up. So our go-to-market is primarily our partners, working with our partners. Our focus has been around looking at a lot of horizontal solutions. So whether it is cloud, whether it is software-defined data centers, or leveraging our Nutanix EdgeX series, whether it's going software-defined storage using object-based storage through Cloudian, Nixenta, DataCore, etc. So we've got a lot of these partnerships. Azure Stack with Microsoft, we got with VMware, Red Hat. So we've got all the industry leaders with our solutions. So we take these solutions into horizontally into various verticals. Now what's happened is a lot of some verticals are actually adopting this more than others. So we're seeing BFSI, banks, insurance companies do have to adapt change. They have to get more efficient because customers are demanding it. So we're going to see a lot of that happening. We're seeing actually also a lot of the mid-markets leapfrogging and taking a lot of this solutions and technology around software-defined data center and leveraging that. So we're going to see a lot of that. Lastly, these are some I'm mentioning. We're also finding a lot of government organization also looking at consolidation. So we've got some customers, we're working with some partners to see that they're consolidating their data center using hyperconverged infrastructure, using software-defined. So those, I would see even the government with the bringing efficiency, that's another one which is really helping. I don't know if you want to add anything further.
Yeah, I think, and the other would come, from a perspective of, I think if you look at the moment to hybrid cloud, for example, and Azure Stack is a great example, because that will come across industries which are bound by regulation and compliance. So this movement to hybrid, because it gives them a solution where, it's under your control and you're handling both regulation and data sovereignty in that. So I think that will work across verticals which are bound by these two, issues. So government is one, BFSI is another, pharma to a large extent.
Here's my belief, right? Everyone, there's a digital transformation. Everyone has to change with this transformation. If you don't change, you will be disrupted. There's two things. Either you're going to be disrupted, or you're going to be the disruptor. Even the disruptor can get disrupted if they don't change, right? And this, I believe, is a cross-segment. So whether it's SMBs, whether it's mid-market, it's enterprise, government, telcos, etc., etc. So everyone has a journey in digital transformation. At Lenovo, our broad portfolio, the breadth, the length of our portfolio actually has offers for everyone. Like if I give you an example, our EdgeX series on which is the hyperconverged. We've got one of the broadest portfolios in the industry. We have a portfolio solution even for the mid-market and SMBs versus many of our competitors. So yes, we even a mid-market SMB can actually have an hyperconverged infrastructure in their premise and actually bring those efficiency of consolidation, bringing power, real estate down, bringing in any of the solutions that go with it. So yes, I mean, I think the mid-market SMBs are also prone to disruption and have the opportunity to be the disruptor, because if they don't do anything, they will get disrupted, and it's a very competitive market. Well, one is that we've got a fantastic portfolio. In fact, I think we've got the best in the industry portfolio. We've got teams that are trained, teams that actually work with our customers. We have a lot of partnership because hyperconverged infrastructure is not just about the infrastructure, but it's also about the application on top. Right. What are you using it for? The use cases in whether it's a VDI solution, it's consolidation, whether it's even we've had customers where we've used hyperconverged in the front end for a mission critical SAP installation. So there's different applications. So that's one of the challenges. The other one is actually, of course, working with the right partners that want to take advantage of this broad portfolio that can also bring in solutions or those applications that they're strong in and join it together and take it to the customers. We are one of the fastest growing hyperconverged infrastructure organizations in Asia Pacific, globally, in India. We're growing very fast. We're adding net new customers every week, every month, every quarter. So for us, this is a big focus area, and we're continuing to grow.
And in fact, our R&D and from you covered the market. Even if you look at our partnerships, correct, because we have no legacy. Correct. So a lot of these partnerships are very strong, and some of these developments have been done ground up. So it's not a question of that it's a market requirement. So we've taken a server, married it to a software. So this development is happening ground up, which gives us a unique proposition both to our customers and our partners. Correct. So example, if you look at our partnership with Nutanix, correct, and when we are running our top of the rack switches on top of our HX solution, correct, it directly integrates to Prism. So not only do you have a network compute, a compute and a storage view, but you have a network view too. Correct? It's a unique solution. So for us, hyperconverged is both from a go-to-market perspective, and of course, doing this marriage grounds up to give a solution to partners and customers, which is unique in that sense from competition.
Hyperconverged, obviously the software is Nutanix. With Lenovo, you have a one number, so you don't have to call software for Nutanix, or you just call Lenovo. We support that. We're also launching for our Think Agile solutions a premier support, a white glove support. So this is all available here in the country, and support customer centricity, customers. Requirements and support is very critical for us. So all this is available here in the country, and we will continue to enhance based on customers' requirements.
Primarily, one is of course the call comes to us, but we also have service partners.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so there is a specific community from AWSP, the service provider community separately.
That's the industry.
So who would actually go and execute on the ground, correct? So the partnership is not only from a sell perspective, it is also from a service perspective.
So we bought the IBM business about 3 years ago, right? And we were one organization where we had the PC and the enterprise business with one organization. We believed that we could have a combined workforce that could actually sell both PCs and servers, and hence the known as a PC company. But the market transformed, right? The market is transformed. The customers want more than just a server, right? And we realize this very good. One thing you will find in Lenovo is that when we do execute something, we realize that maybe this is not the right strategy or this is a mistake. We look at it very carefully and recalibrate. And we recalibrated. And that recalibration was about us going dedicated. So today, we have a dedicated organization under Lenovo, which just focuses on data center group. And this is a big change. So the data center group has our own sales, support, technical resources, but it's not just that, it's our supply chain. Today, 92% of our SKUs get shipped within 7 days. So which is a big improvement, right? And this can happen only if we're a dedicated organization. So we also wanted to make sure that our people are able to articulate the value proposition of our solutions. And it's not just about servers, and it's about the entire end-to-end. We have launched 2 new brands. Think Agile and Think System. All right. So our Think System is our standalone servers, and our Think Agile is basically a software-defined data center. These are 2 brands that we've launched. So this really talks about our entire solutions, and with our partnership with industry-leading, vendors, software vendors, ISVs, this brings a complete solution to our customers, and it's all about our pain points, and it's all about customers' pain points and how we can go and remove them. So from a server perspective, we are still the #1 company for the last 4 years running on reliability. So it's from a system perspective, it has that the lineage that we have in bringing in reliability. We're still #1 there. So from a hardware perspective, we're there. But it's also about bringing that entire solution, whether it's an SAP solution, whether it's an ERP, whether it's any software-defined cloud hybrid solution, and this is a big focus, and I think it's a huge opportunity for our partners. Anything you would like to add to that?
I think you covered it pretty much.
Yeah.
But the market is definitely transitioning, correct? So it's I think the data center is transitioning workload by workload, correct? And we have to go with that, correct? So what it does to us is taking that pedigree and that reliability that our servers are known for, and building it specifically to the solution market.
Our vision is one is definitely to be the #1 trusted partner for our customers, right? And how are we going to do this? We're going to make sure we are providing the right solution for our customers, and not sell customers things that they don't want, because we won't do this because we don't have any legacy behind. Any organization that has some legacy or some proprietary will actually sell what's on the truck. So for us, with our partnership, making sure that our wide end-to-end portfolio, our open systems, not locking in customers, making sure that we're selling them what they need for their organization. So really being the #1 trusted advisor. That's a vision. And that's more than a vision. That's about customer centricity, making sure that we're closing the loop, making sure that customers are we're solving those pain points, right? And that's very important. So our roadmap is about, we've recently launched 14 new servers, 7 new storage devices, 5 new networking device solutions. So with our new Purley transition with the new servers. That's just been lost. In fact, our portfolio has won 42 new record benchmarks. So, which is very impressive. It's the highest in the industry. So these roadmaps are there. From a solution perspective, we will continue to come up with new solutions based on with our partnerships with various industry leading organizations. Will continue to lead to make sure that we're actually resolving our customer pain points. Very excited about the opportunities. We're very excited about our new partner program that we've just launched, and that's very important. Our partner program is very simple. It covers just 3 areas instead of having multiple areas where partners can earn. Very simplistic, because partners have said we want a simple program, we don't want a complex program. So we've got a program which is a dedicated DCG partner program. It's global. It's here in India. There's 3 areas where a partner can earn. First thing is basically growth. So it's a revenue target. Second is acquisition. So if it's a new customer, partners can get paid for it. Last is a solution set. So if you're selling one of those solutions that we've identified, you get incremental incentives for it. So it's very, very simple. 3 things: growth, acquisition, and last but not least is solutions.
We're the fastest growing supercomputing company in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we intend to be the number 1 by 2020.
Yeah, and I think that's important. You've got the supercomputers being number 2. We are globally by 2020, as Vivek said, we want to be number 1, and we're fastest growing. They're like the Formula 1 of computing. You don't earn your stripes just like that. You have to be really good, and that sort of reliability comes across our solutions. That's our DNA, making sure that we have the best products in the industry. And at Lenovo, we're ready. We're very excited. Our customers are really accepting these solutions. Our partners are very excited. Every partner that we talk to, it's a very, very different approach, and we're going to continue to grow, and we're excited, and we're looking forward to executing here in the country.